My name is Reinette Senum, and though I am the mayor of Nevada City, I am in no way representing the council, and I would like to thank you very much for opening this up to the public. It is an important matter, and just thank you for being willing to listen. I have to say that I'm actually here, again, not representing the city nor myself. I'm representing Tom Brown. We must live in a very, very small world, because it was in February when I was deep in the jungles of Mexico volunteering for the Rotarians. I happened to meet Mr. Brown and his wife out of the blue, who happened to tell me about this terrible story of a neighbor coming through their property and ripping it to shreds without any regard. And I would like to read his letter to the council. Dear Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to make this statement regarding this request for determination. My wife and I are the owners of APN 38-391-04, which is adjacent to the 3 parcels described in this request and has a common border with 2 of the parcels. When we purchased this parcel in 1986, we were Californian residents. In 2004, we moved to our current residence in Virginia, which makes it impractical for us to personally appear at the public hearings pertaining to this matter. Therefore, we have authorized Reinette Senum to represent us by reading the statement to the Commission. The reading of the statement should take approximately 1 minute, the way I speak. So, the following comments speak directly to the vested right to mine because they address the important issues of percipient witnesses. Because we have owned our parcel since 1989 and because of its proximity to Mr. White's parcel, we can be considered percipient witnesses as mentioned on page 2 of the staff report dated January 13th, 2010. We have a special interest, perhaps a unique interest in this matter because we are one of the neighbors most affected by the situation. Indeed, our land has already been damaged by the mining operation on the parcels in question. Our parcel is specifically mentioned on page 2 of the staff report dated January 13th, 2010. The applicant has taken access through the adjoining private property and BLM property to the east without the benefit of access easements from either owner. We would like to take this opportunity to provide the Commission with additional background pertaining to the statement of the staff report. On October 7, 2008, the BLM issued a trespass notice to cease and desist an immediate suspension order to Tucker White for the damage he did to BLM land. Mr. White paid over $18,000 in damages as a result. On October 1, 2008, we received a letter from William Hay, field manager in the Folsom Field Office of the BLM, inquiring about the legal rights Mr. Tucker White holds through your property. This letter of inquiry was prompted by Mr. White's application for a right-of-way through BLM land. In his letter, Mr. Hay also wrote, since he, Mr. White, has done considerable widening of the road on your parcel, we might assume you have deeded him some sort of easement. This letter from Mr. Hay was the first time we became aware that Mr. White had indeed trespassed on our land and irrevocably damaged it while doing a significant amount of unauthorized road work. Mr. White never requested permission to enter our property. Had he requested such permission, he never would have received it. Unfortunately, as individual property owners, we don't have the same enforcement powers as the BLM. Our property was equally as damaged and probably was significantly more damaged than the BLM land. They can issue citations, but we can't. We feel a frustrating sense of powerlessness. Something we can do to help ensure that Mr. White can do no further damage to our land is to make the Commission aware of our side of the situation. The following comments speak directly to the vested right to mine because they address the important issue of abandonment. Prior to 2004, we visited this parcel frequently, at least once a year, and often 3 or 4 times a year. Since moving to Virginia, our inspection visits occur much less often. In reviewing my property records, I've noted that my last inspection of the property was May 2006. During all visits to the property, it's my habit to walk all the property lines and check all the corners. When I walk along the property line between my parcel and APN number 12, I can see a large portion of that neighboring parcel. After the inspection in May 2006, I made the following entry in my file. Nothing unusual was noted. I certainly would have known if any mining activity was occurring. The fact is that between 1986 and May 2006, the land was unused, and there certainly was no mining. My personal observations about the use of APN 12 supports the staff's belief that the parcel has been abandoned or idle and that the vested right is destroyed. The following comments speak directly to the vested right to mine because they refute the applicant's testimony about intent. On page 5 of the staff report dated January 13, 2010, the applicant is quoted as follows. It has been the intent of every property owner of the subject parcel to mine and continue mining the site. There's no way for anyone, including Mr. White, to know the intent of every property owner because intent is a state of mind. The best measure of intent is real activity. In this case, the only common sense measure of intent ought to be the actual mining activity. And we have another paragraph here. There's been much discussion about intent to mine. We hope that the Planning Commission will take a common sense approach to this issue of intent. Intent, which is a state of mind, can only be truly measured by actual physical activity. Despite all the discussion, the reality, according to Mr. Brady, is that there has been no actual mining or production on this parcel since either 1935 or 1946. Mr. White has run roughshod over many agencies in the other parts of the state. Now he wants to continue his legacy in Nevada County. We hope that the Nevada County Planning Commission will draw a line in the sand of Greenhorn Creek and Bear River and refuse to allow Mr. White to cross that line. Please send a message that his type of behavior will not be tolerated in this county. In summary, the vested right to mine has been abandoned, and there never was the intent to continue mining this site except for the intent to the current owner. For these reasons, we respectfully request a determination from the Planning Commission that the applicant does not have a vested right to mine. Please be advised that should the Commission decide to grant the vested right to mine, it would be our intention to appeal such a decision. I thank you for your time.
That was 6 minutes, but God forbid I cut the mayor off.
You are in my town.
Yeah, that's right.